Menta kaski umanti rangba kejela o Conrad ke sama ulawan ra ta kasumo to statement po iying dorbar thawan habagwan ra ikani Conrad ulaang bahadin bala peni ka huri hura hakarali ka KSU hat kendai terik lakem yelaingut kinangalam bahe KSU bat minta lakem sa uwei badan kti hakabrunal hakatay karali bat ulaang register ejat khasantali hadu unta.
Well, number one, that this happened on the day I was already in the flight. I was traveling, and of course I had multiple programs and meetings. So that's number one, and my schedule was already fixed. Number two, it is not just one person. There is an entire team that looks into all aspects of governance. Honorable Deputy Chief Minister in charge of Home was personally monitoring the situation. And the entire team, including Chief Secretary and DGP and other police officials, all were here. And more importantly, in today's technology world, we were in touch almost every hour, discussing almost every aspect, and ensuring that whatever quick decisions needed to be made, those decisions were made. And there was no gap in terms of the action that had to be taken. So therefore, yes, I had commitments, and as a government, we have multiple commitments. It's not possible for us to always change those commitments, because these are commitments made at national level to different governments, to different organizations, and therefore they are also highly sensitive in nature. But as I said, that did not in any way deter or did not affect the overall work that we were doing. And we ensured that the situation has been brought under control in kind of a limited period of time. A lot of discussions took place in the front, behind, and communication was being done. So the idea is to resolve the issues. I think that is what is the primary objective that we have in front. We will definitely examine the points that have been placed by the Honorable LO, and we'll see after examining how maybe we should move forward in that. But we'll examine it.
Public allegedly blame that the police.
See, intelligence failure is a very easy word to use. It's a kind of a buzzword which, if any situation happens, then the most jazzy word to use is intelligence failure. There was no intelligence failure as such. All the aspects were looked into. But to be very frank, we also work in one sense on the basis of some trust and some kind of assurance. And we move forward with that kind of trust and assurance also. Plus, as I said, when we have a movement of this scale taking place, sometimes it's physically not possible for us to place people everywhere. But we had our people along the routes. And the scale and the overall geographic area in which the incidents were happening led to a lot of complexity for us to monitor the situation on the ground immediately. And obviously, as I said, our manpower also was spread out. And the kind of, if this was one place, then it's easier, our numbers are there. So all of these challenges were there. But most importantly, as I mentioned, that there was a very clear understanding that this rally will be peaceful and there's no intention. And as I said, to some extent, we have kept that word, and we said that yes, that's what we expect. And I'm sure that not just for us, but even for the public, they must have been quite surprised to see the kind of behavior at that point in time by these miscreants. And we are still identifying, as I said, we have identified 5 of them. But people are quite surprised and shocked at the way these miscreants had behaved, which was just something that was, in a way, unprecedented and never seen before. So yeah, was the intelligence failure? No. But we were caught by surprise in some sense by the scale and the action. Yes, we were. but we knew what was happening. We had kept, but the scale was something that, as I said, have not seen in the past, and and it went to a scale where it was unprecedented.
What step the government is taking, sir, to ensure that tourists come to Meghalaya and that fear is allayed?
See, law and order situation does happen. I'm not saying it's something that we're trying to kind of say that that we're not, that it doesn't happen other places. I'm not trying to justify any kind of situation, but law and order situation does happen. And while that happens, this kind of incidents, and there is always an inconvenience that actually the public has to face. And that is what we saw in this last 1 week when the situation was there. But as I said, we have taken very, very swift measures and steps to ensure that to some extent the tension doesn't further escalate. So therefore, we don't expect any escalation to happen in the future. But we are now trying to de-escalate and bring back the sense of confidence in the people. I'm sure it will start coming in very soon. People will see for themselves, and we expect that normalcy will return. And we do urge all our stakeholders that whether it's from Assam, from Meghalaya, whether it's all different organizations, whether it's tourist stakeholders, we all will have to work together and ensure that the normalcy that we would want and the kind of de-escalation we would want would happen at the earliest. So a lot of reach out programs, confidence building will have to be done, which, as I said, all of us will do together.
The government bring regarding
So we have not been able to find that out, or rather, I don't have that information with me right now. I will review the situation today, and maybe I'll be in a better position to tell you later on. But as I said, we have identified, and action is being taken against those, and further, steps will be continued to ensure that all those who are involved and all the miscreants who are involved, who have led to the situation, they will be all brought to justice.
So just
No game has to do with this, but let me assure you that that is not the case. In most of the fronts, in fact, work has been happening. There has been some communication gaps, and whatever the points that have come up, we will be clarifying in the joint meeting that we will have with the members of the KSU. So whatever clarifications are required, we will give then. But from our side, as I said, that in almost all the aspects, whether it's this organization or any other organization that has come forward, the government has been very prompt in responding to most of it, in the sense that we have been clear whether we can do or we cannot do, and wherever we can do, we have given the commitment and we have moved forward. There could be, as I said, some communication gap. We will ensure that we have the meeting and we'll clarify all those points.
carry out
So normally in this kind of situations, there are already terms and conditions that are put when the permission is given of what are the do's and don'ts. Now basically what we'll have to do is we'll have to increase those do's and don'ts, and we'll have to add what are the things. And as I said, the situation, as I said, will also ensure that we are able to impose now stricter regulations. And as I said, the terms and conditions will always be there in the permission that is granted. We don't know. The letter must have gone by now, but we'll get to know maybe later in the afternoon or the evening.
So just
Our message, or my message and the government's message to the citizen, is that whatever happened was very, very unfortunate. And there are people who try to create fear in the system and in the society. And we will not leave those people. We're going to take very, very strong action against those people who have tried to create that fear. And our citizens should not be worried. Yes, there was certain inconvenience that was caused. We do agree to that because of the reaction that we saw from our neighboring state, and then that had to be again controlled and discussed and negotiated. But now that we have got all of that behind us, I think we should move in a positive manner. We should definitely, all of us should learn, in fact, not just the government, but all of us, including from organizations, associations, and different stakeholders, and ensure that whatever steps can be taken in the future to ensure that while we have the right to have peaceful protest. It does not mean that you can take the law in your hand, and especially it does not mean that you can do anything that you want, and especially beating up and harming innocent people. So that's something, a strong message must go from all of us. And it's very important, and I've been sharing this with everybody, that society must also at one point in time must come out regarding this. As I said, we have been one of the most open governments. When it comes to any issue, we have been very open to discuss with the issues. When it comes to any kind of talks and discussions that are there, we've always been open to talks and discussions. But as I said, there's a line that we have to draw, and one cannot cross the line. And that is the message that we have for everybody, that please don't try to do that. And if anybody does, then we will have to take action as per law. We'll discuss with them whenever they give us a time. We'll be discussing with them. We have sent the letter, so we're waiting for the response.
You'll be chairing the meeting?
We'll discuss. Most probably, I'll be chairing the meeting, because there's a cross-departmental discussions. But we are waiting for the response from their end first.